Lena had always been fascinated by antique mirrors. So, when she found the ornate, dusty frame in an old thrift store, she couldn't resist. It was beautiful, aged with time, with delicate silverwork framing the glass, though the reflection it cast seemed almost too clear, too sharp. That night, as she placed it in her bedroom, she felt a strange unease settle in. She glanced into it, expecting to see the dimly lit room behind her. But instead, her reflection stood still, almost unnaturally so. It stared back at her with a cold, empty expression, its eyes too wide, too vacant. Lena shook her head, chuckling to herself. "It's just an old mirror," she told herself. But the feeling lingered. She couldn't help but glance back at the reflection every few minutes as she settled into bed. Each time, the image in the glass grew more unsettling. Her reflection seemed to move just a little too slowly, its eyes not tracking her movements. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. She yanked the mirror off the wall and turned it to face the corner. That should have been the end of it. But the whispering started. At first, it was faint, like a rustle in the distance. Lena pulled the covers up to her chin, trying to ignore the sounds. The whispering grew louder, until it was undeniable, soft, pleading voices from behind her. The reflection in the corner of her room, still hidden from view, seemed to pulse with dark energy. She got up to check, her heart thudding in her chest. But when she reached the corner, the room was empty. No mirror. Confused, Lena turned back to her bed. Her reflection stood before her, clear as day in the unlit room. No, not her reflection. Something else. The figure in the glass was not her. It was a dark, twisted version of herself. The eyes were hollow, skin pale and slick with something wet. The lips stretched into a horrific grin. Lena froze, her breath caught in her throat. Her reflection tilted its head as if considering her, its grin widening. Then, it opened its mouth. "Come closer!" Before she could react, the mirror in the corner of her room shattered. Pieces of glass scattered across the floor like jagged teeth. Lena tried to run, but the whispering voices swarmed her, drowning out all sound except for the low, mocking laughter that echoed from every corner. When the police arrived the next morning, they found the room silent, the mirror gone. But in its place, the floor was covered in strange, dark marks, as if something had been dragged across the room. Lena was never found. And the mirror? It was in the store again, waiting for the next curious soul.